Hi, friends. Today is Saturday, May 30th. I'm coming to you from my home office upstairs, and this has been a difficult video to think about producing or creating for you. I'm coming with deep grief and an outrage at the many tragic happenings in our country over the past week. It's been a very, very difficult week, and I have felt it in my bones this week. There are too many things to mention here that have happened, but the one that is heaviest on my heart today is the loss of yet another Black life due to police brutality and racial hatred. So I light our chalice today in memory of George Floyd, who was murdered on Monday. Many people have spoken out this week against the evils the evil of racism that killed George and Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and dozens of other Black individuals over the past decade. The social media and news channels have all had commentary on everything that's happened, and particularly with this tragic killing, there has been understandably violent protest. I am not for violence under any circumstances, but I cannot I cannot say that it's not a justified, angry response to what has happened in the Black community over and over and over again. So there have been many words on social media and news, all trying to give interpretation, advice, comfort, hope, a variety. But my question is, when will white actions speak louder than our words? You know, UUFR is part of the Unitarian Universalist Association, which means we are connected to UUs all across the country who are working hard to put UU principles into practice. People are working hard in a variety of ways and with different groups to build a better world, a world where justice, where peace, where love for one another across boundaries, across differences, where those things, love, justice, and peace, are the norm rather than the exception. This past fall, our congregation started a study group that was called Exploring Our Whiteness. And it was a wonderful group that met together for 6 weeks, and we explored what it means to be white in this country and what the privileges are that we take for granted every day of our lives, and yet others are in the Black community and other people of color are not privy to. And it was an eye-opening study. But that was the first step. That was the first step in a long journey toward transformation and becoming anti-racism allies. That's what we're working toward. And there's a lot more that we want to do, more groups to form, more study to engage, more um, relationships to establish. And then the quarantine happened and in March, and it just kind of put a temporary hold on some of the plans that we had for moving forward with the anti-racism training. So I wanted you to know that though it's on temporary hold, not for very long, we are going to be working on establishing some new programs and setting those up, getting them on the calendar, whether in person or online. It's going to happen. And I wanted you to know that, and in fact, I think Mike has already sent out an email to those of us who were in the program this past fall. So there is much in the works. But in the meantime, until we get some things on the calendar, I want to ask you to do three things as individuals, because we can't wait for the groups. We must be working daily to make a difference. And so the first thing I would ask you to do is to get to know the stories of the people who have died at the hands of police brutality. And I'd say start with George Floyd and get to know his story, the story of his family, the story of his faith, the story of his own mission in life. Keep his memory alive. The second is to be in practice every day to nurture your own peaceful spirit. There are many ways to do that. These are spiritual practices that we talk about from time to time: meditation, prayer, mindfulness, yoga, sitting in silence. There are many different ways to do this, but we must be nurturing our own peaceful spirits every day. You know, you may remember the song that we sing sometimes at UUFR, "Let there be peace on earth." And the last line is, "Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me." You know, we can't change institutions or systems until we change, not even we change, until human hearts are changed. And so that is a practice that is ongoing forever and ever. And the third thing is to, what is the third thing? To finally hold in prayer all those who have been touched by this violent racism. I mean, hold in prayer the victims and their families, and also the perpetrators and their families. The human family is in desperate need of healing and reconciliation. And it starts with us. So I offer those three practices that you can do now, and you'll be hearing from us in the near future about programs that we can do together to continue our journey as allies. And now I realize just how painful this has been. I don't know whether I'm giving voice to your angst, but I'm sure feeling it myself. And I apologize if this video is a little choppy, but it's that's where I've been. So now I offer this benediction from our Singing the Living Tradition. The peace which passes understanding, the peace of God, which the world can neither give nor take away, be among us and abide in our hearts, now and forevermore. May it be so. And namaste.